Welcome back to the original Living in Orange County, California team. This is Sean and Courtney here, and if you are thinking about moving to Huntington Beach, California,
Surf City, USA.
Surf City, USA, you are going to want to get out a pen and a paper because we are going to talk about everything that you need to know if you're thinking about moving out here. We're going to talk about home prices. We're going to talk about different neighborhoods. We're going to talk about school districts. We're going to talk about cost of living. We're going to talk about crime and safety. We're going to talk about tours. How do you find out? Like maybe you've never been out here. Maybe you don't even know what Huntington Beach is like. How are you going to look at what Huntington Beach looks like before you buy that plane ticket and decide to come out here to do that sort of research? We're going to talk about things that are absolutely spectacular about Huntington Beach. We love Huntington's vibe, but then we're going to talk about things that maybe you're not going to like about Huntington, or maybe you're even going to hate, which actually might be more important because the worst thing that could happen is you could move to the wrong city. Maybe Huntington Beach isn't for you. So let's get started. So here we are. We are in Orange County, California. Beautiful Orange County. So beautiful, so nice. Best weather in the world, objectively speaking. Now we're going to start off the video talking about two big reasons why people choose Huntington Beach. Sean has a lot of clients that love Huntington Beach, and these two reasons we're going to talk about right now are kind of the two biggest reasons. So first, let's click on Huntington Beach, and then let's just talk about the location. So talk about the location, especially the proximity to Los Angeles. So that's the first reason. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, location-wise, so, a lot of times people will go, oh, should I, if they want to be on a coastal, well, actually, I guess that's also part of it too, right? So,
well, yeah, I guess that's a given, right?
Yeah. That's a big deal. It's not just any given. It's the fact that it's a beach city in Southern California.
Yeah. But we're gonna that's gonna go melding into the second point.
Okay.
Yeah, that's melding into the second.
Okay, you have to understand though, the fact that it's a beach city is unbelievable for multiple reasons. But okay, we'll back off.
We're gonna back off that now because it's melding into the second point. Let's talk about the first point. That's just pure location, close to Los Angeles, right?
Yeah. So basically, if you look at Huntington Beach, it's a it's a northwestern city in Orange County, right? So it's very close to the LA border. It's not exactly on the LA border because Seal Beach is actually just north of it, but it's a pretty small city, so that's why Huntington Beach is certainly the more notable of the beach cities in the northern part of Orange County. And what a lot of people that, a lot of clients I have, what they love about Huntington Beach is that, especially if they need to go north to LA, so they have options of taking Pacific Coast Highway, which links you up to all these freeways right here, right? Like you have the 710, the 110, the 605, all that stuff, right? But then also, actually along a lot of border of Huntington Beach is the 405 freeway. Again, this is and the 405 freeway is one of the major freeways in all of Southern California. So this is a great way to go anywhere you need to go to. So the fact that Huntington Beach, you can kind of avoid a lot of the traffic south of here, all this. Mm-hmm. So you're just again, it's a much more straight shot to LA. Again, you're still going to be dealing with traffic, let's be real. It's just that you're cutting out a decent amount of it by being this far north in Orange County. So before we continue, let's introduce ourselves. I'm Sean Dazad.
And I'm Courtney Dazad, and we are licensed real estate agents here in the state of California.
And if you're watching this channel, you might be thinking, wow, Sean, I love Orange County. I love the Pacific Coast. I love the beaches. I just love everything about it, and I can't wait to move out here. But the problem is I'm not local. I may be out of state. I may be even out of the country, so I don't know what to do. And I totally get that. That's why you want to reach out to us, because we are boots on the ground. We'll basically be able to do virtual tours of the property and the neighborhoods. We get really granular about what you're looking for, so that way when you come out here, you're not wasting your time. And we work with a team, so someone's always available for you. So what you want to do is when you give us a call or shoot us a text.
Yes, that number is a cell phone, so you can call us or text us, or you can use WhatsApp if you're outside the country. Yeah, it's quite popular for people who have to commute to LA for work or for business. So
I mean, I guess LA is a pretty big job hub, is one I've heard. So and obviously it's a hugely populated city, so understandably the whole LA County, and again, the LA County area starts at Long Beach, so you're right close to this LA County border, right? So actually, I don't even think I'm off. LA County kind of starts in Cerritos and stuff. So so you're kind of so you're all this, and so you're again, you're super close to that border.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, and then how Sean was talking about, obviously it's a fantastic beach city with a great vibe. That is fantastic, but then let's talk about the value. So we recently did a video where we were talking about places in Orange County that have a lot of value. So let's just talk about how with Huntington Beach, You are living in coastal Southern California, and then
with the best weather in the world.
Yes.
This is like there's people talk about hyperbole and all that. No, I challenge anyone in the world to say they have better weather than a coastal Southern California city.
Yeah, and then let's just compare this. So Huntington Beach, median sales price, okay, so this is not cheap, of course, but let's just compare it to regular Orange County. It's really not that much more. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, this is actually shockingly close. Again, because, regular Orange County, you're dealing with a ton of cities that are a little bit more inland, various degrees of desirability and all this other stuff like ritziness. Huntington Beach, for a coastal city, where you're marginally up, you're up about 10-ish%, or on the rest of Orange County, that is not a big premium by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
When you consider that you are, again, on the ocean, you're on the coast itself. Now, Huntington Beach is a big city, so it does have a huge variation of what types of properties, how close they are to the coast, because some homes are, again, 6 miles from the coast. You're not that close.
Yeah.
Again, that's why when you reach out to us, we can have that conversation to find out specifically about what you're looking for, and then try to accomplish, if you want to be really close to the ocean, okay, well, this is kind of what you're going to find in this price point, whatever your budget might be.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So Huntington Beach, let's show where it is in comparison to Newport Beach and Laguna Beach, which are probably, if you know about the beaches in Orange County, those are probably the most famous ones, Huntington, Newport, and Laguna. So,
sure.
And then we can just show them what's the median home price for Newport.
Real time. We're giving them on the spot. So this is not even scripted here.
Yeah,
so let's go for it.
So show where Newport is.
Okay, so Newport's just south, right? So this is Newport right here. So literally just south of Huntington, right? So the Santa Ana River basically separates the two. And then Laguna Beach also just south of Newport, right? So yeah, these are the three, like you were mentioning, the three most notable cities as far as coastal cities in all of Orange County.
Yeah, and the most famous. I would say that they're definitely the most famous.
Yeah, of course, San Clemente's awesome, Dana Point's amazing.
Yeah.
And Seal Beach is great too. But these are if you're asking me to give you three cities, it's this, and that.
Yeah, if you're talking from someone who's never been to Orange County, and then these are the cities they might know, right? And so then, do you want to show so what's the median home price?
Let's do it. Okay, so let's look at this. This is crazy.
Yeah,
it's 3 times more expensive median home price, right?
Yeah,
and that's insane. That's again. The fact that you're getting a lot, that's where the value proposition of Huntington Beach is crazy. Oh, but you're going, Laguna Beach must be way cheaper, right? Wrong. Okay, and so Laguna Beach, again, in the same vicinity, much closer to Newport Beach's prices than Huntington, right? So you're kind of almost 2.5 to 3 times more expensive to be in either of those other two cities. And again, Huntington Beach is every bit as notable as far as what people know of the coastal cities. Yeah. Huntington Beach has it. It's Surf City USA. You have tons of athletic activities going on there. Everyone knows Huntington Beach.
Yeah, and if you want to get an idea, so maybe you've never been out here and you don't really know what it's like. If you want to get an idea of the vibe, so if you go to our channel, this is Irvine, but we have a playlist that gives tours of different cities. So we have one of Huntington Beach. Sadly, when we did it, it was kind of overcast that day. And then we recently filmed 2 driving tours of Huntington Beach in terms of the downtown area and also the harbor area. And then we also, a long time ago, we did one of downtown Huntington Beach, and it's just got such a cool vibe, the downtown Huntington Beach. I really, really enjoy it. So that's just another thing. And then,
can I hammer home?
Yeah.
So because honestly, sometimes the map doesn't do it justice. You've really got to see to appreciate, the beaches of Huntington, is kind of crazy, right? So if you're going in Huntington, look at this. Look how thick that, how wide that strand of beach is.
Yeah.
That's sand right there, right? So
and if you go to the pier,
and you're at the pier, right? So
there's just so much activity happening here, and even though it's very touristy, which it is, it's still really fun for the locals. I have a friend born and raised in Huntington Beach. She still lives there. She is always down at the pier, always. Yeah,
and again, so if you want a tourist trap, right? There's a lot of traffic kind of right through there, Pacific Coast Highway and Main Street. So lots of, but you have restaurants, bars, you got the pier, you've got surf shops. it's prototypical what you think of beach living, right? As far as that part. But then again, if it's not just like small homes and like small pieces of land, you also do have like the harbor, you have the wetlands, like you have these other attributes.
Yeah, so do you want to just, now we can just go back and let's explain a little bit about the different areas of Huntington Beach. Like we've done map videos of Huntington before, so we're not
going to go deep. This is not what that is. We're just going to give you a very quick lay of the land, right?
Yeah.
So I'd say as far as notable things, right, you have the harbor, you have the Bolsa Chica wetlands, you have Central Park. Again, you have the downtown area, right? So you have like right around here. So you have a lot of stuff happen, and then and there's a lot more. We don't want to like drag this thing out, and which is again for me really really hard. But we'll do that.
So probably one of the reasons why Huntington Beach is definitely a lot less expensive than Newport Beach and Laguna Beach is that you don't have as much. Well, you really don't have any property that is beachfront, right?
Yeah,
do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, you have coastal front.
Yeah, so
but not beachfront.
So where can you get coastal front?
Yeah, so basically what you have, so in different cities like Newport, for instance, you'll actually have homes that are on the sand, right? Like on the boardwalk, on the sand. Where in Huntington, you actually have this phenomenon where Pacific Coast Highway actually acts as the buffer between the beach and where the housing developments start. So you'll have some homes like right on this front line. So they're on PCH. They have panoramic views, like beautiful views. But again, you have to cross PCH to actually get to the beach. Yeah. But if you want, like for instance, and then you have some of the stuff like Bolsa Chica wetlands. You will have some homes like along here that are kind of on this. But again, that's not what people think of as far as coastline typically. But what they do think of is, for instance, the harbor. So Huntington Harbor itself does offer, like, again, a good amount of waterfront property, so you can have homes with docks for various sized boats, and it does go out to the ocean, so you will, take this out through here and out to the Pacific Ocean, right? So you have that ability to do that. So you do have, this is really your main opportunity to have, like, waterfront living in Huntington Beach. And again, if that's important for you, though, if you want to be on the beach and stuff like that, there are other options in Orange County, of course. So that's why when you reach out to us, we can obviously go through like what that is, because some people do want to be on a harbor. They may want a little bit bigger harbor, right? Because again, Huntington Harbor is great, but Newport Harbor is just, again, it's kind of unparalleled. And this is not to bash it. It's just that Newport Harbor does have a...
Well, do you want to show where it is?
Yeah,
so
it
Newport
has
Harbor
a
is
fantastic...
just way bigger.
It's massive. I mean, you'll go on a 90-minute cruise, and you won't even get around the whole harbor. Like, that's the crazy thing. Yeah. And then, again, that's a whole other story. But just as far as Huntington goes, its harbor is great. It's just that, but that's really your main opportunity to get waterfront. Yeah,
it's really pretty. And so we just filmed, us driving around there. The streets are very wide there as well.
I would say, for sure. And there's like 5 islands, I believe. So you have all these islands here. And
I would say you get like more lot space than you'd think in a beach city, because a lot of times in a beach city, and this includes Huntington, like if you're going to downtown Huntington Beach, like the lots are pretty small and it's very vertical living, whereas like here in the harbor it's kind of surprising.
You would not know you're on an island in a harbor, because like if you're just driving down the street, like again, you have to see it to believe it. So that's why you want to look at our driving tour.
Yeah, and I don't know if I'm gonna do this one first, publish this one first or not. So that's why you got to subscribe, because I don't know. I always because I have to edit them. It really just depends.
We do what we do for sure. Yeah. And then, and then Central Park is pretty cool. Like, this is actually, again, you know how we talk about the great park in Irvine being not so great. This is every bit as good, if not better, to me.
I think it's better.
Yeah, exactly. I actually, this is a very impressive park.
Yeah.
It's got everything going for you. You got equestrian stuff. You got, playing fields for, like, organized sports stuff. Mm-hmm. Basketball courts. You have lakes. Like, this is an awesome park right here.
Yeah, you have a great library too.
Yeah,
your mom always goes there and gets books from our kids.
Yes, that's true. It's like so, and then this is again lots of homes right along this area. So I love the Central Park, like Huntington Beach Central Park for sure.
Yeah, it's really cute.
So basically, another neighborhood that's right next to. So like as you see on here, like as far as these street grids are, they're very again these are not big lots, right? Like these these are pretty narrow. Like if you want big lots, this is like the downtown Huntington Beach area. I would probably point you to somewhere else because
if you want a big lot.
Yeah, because you're going vertically. These homes
So
are
in downtown, you're going vertical.
Yeah, you're going 2-story, 3-story, possibly 3 stories with a terrace. Like that's kind of like what you're getting here. Again, what your backyard would be is the beach because you're like you're right there, like a very short distance to the beach.
Yeah, for sure.
And then, but if you want a little bit more like stuff, so Seacliff is a fascinating area right here where you have some opportunities to kind of get homes that are like, might have a 3-car garage, like, might have like, again, a nicer size lot. And they're not huge, but also you also have a golf course as well. Seacliff, the fact that it's right next door and still right next to the ocean, I really like this area. This is like, again, a lot of people don't know about it, but Seacliff is pretty awesome.
And then one thing that we do want to highlight about Huntington Beach as well is just how big it is. Like, it's a massive city. Like Sean was saying before, just because you're living in Huntington Beach, that doesn't mean that you're going to be, very, very close to the beach. You could be 5 to 6 miles away. Like, you can just see. Like, I would say, like, pretty much any beach city in, California, it can be harder to actually go from the freeway to the beach. There can be some traffic because obviously, you're fighting the tourists and all of that stuff. So that is a drawback not only of Huntington Beach, but of honestly like any beach city in the world. Like really, especially on the California coast. Like they're not the easiest cities to get in and out of. They tend not to be.
Yeah, but they do have some pretty big arteries, right?
They do.
So like for instance, Beach Boulevard is like right here. So this is wide. I mean, like this is like 8-10 lanes across, like, so this is like I guess technically Highway 39, but like it's got stoplights, but like it's like a big artery. You have Brookhurst, you have Warner, you have Magnolia, like you have like Golden West. You have these big like arteries that gets you from the freeway down to the coastline.
Yeah, because we were pointing out how close Huntington Beach is to Los Angeles, but Huntington Beach is also very well located to the major job centers in Orange County. Like, it's not that far away from Irvine, it's decently close to Anaheim, and it's obviously very close to Newport Beach, which has a huge corporate headquarters in Newport Center. Yeah, and Santa Ana as well. Santa Ana has a decent amount of headquarters as well. Yeah,
I will say that, like, a lot of people reach out to us for South Orange County, and I love me some South Orange County, but the thing is that it is a bit more out of the way. Like, this is, South Orange County has more of appeal for people that probably either in a hybrid work situation or purely remote work.
They work in Irvine.
Exactly. If they work in the Spectrum, it's actually not too bad either. Yeah. But if they're, like, working anywhere, like, again, if they're working in LA, if they're working in Newport you could probably get away with. Yeah. But if you're working in Anaheim or Santa Ana, probably, again, Huntington Beach, it's just, the proximity is just so convenient from that perspective.
Yeah, for, like, a beach city, it's actually, like, very centrally located to the major job centers of Orange County and Los Angeles as well.
Yeah, and again, I can't hammer home how reasonably priced it is for being a beach city. Like, this is, it's barely above the median home price of all of Orange County, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
But again, it's a fantastic value proposition.
Yeah, and then so one resource that we always like to use to talk about, these cities that we talk about, we love to use niche.com, and niche.com gives Huntington Beach an A-, so it's a great place to live.
It's about 200,000 people.
Mm-hmm. And let's see, what does Huntington Beach say in terms of its rank? What does niche.com say in terms of its rankings, like best suburbs for young professionals in California? I would say that because honestly, Huntington Beach it's kind of fun. Like, it's a fun place to be, right?
Yeah, because we talk about like Orange County, like we've talked about Orange County being more sleepy. Like it's really suburbia at heart, right? So so like South Orange County is famously known for going to bed at 8:00, which again works for us. Yeah, exactly. We're not like really partying all night, but but if you want some of the nightlife stuff. There's a few cities certainly that offer that, and Huntington Beach is definitely one of them. Yeah,
best places to retire in California. Probably, I'm guessing,
which is interesting, right? Like, so that's
it's probably because it's a beach city, so it's like it's the best weather in the world. But like you were saying, like the value proposition is just kind of crazy.
This is fascinating, right? Like, so when you have young professionals as well as retire and suburb, like the fact that it's actually ranks pretty well on all these things, you're like, that's kind of an interesting combo. Like, you don't really find that very often.
Well, it probably shows you why it's a popular place to live.
Yeah, that's true. People like them some Huntington Beach, that's for sure.
Well, and then since you're going by crime and safety, obviously let's just talk about that because, you can look at the numbers yourself. Like, we can never tell you, Huntington Beach is safe because everybody's definition of safety is different. You can look at the numbers for yourself. Like, I will say, you know, obviously it is definitely lower than average on everything, but I will say, like, sometimes, like, you know, you can Google it just as easy as we can because Huntington Beach is a big touristy place. Sometimes things will get rowdy, like parties will go out of control downtown, and then, you know, things will happen. And
and that's just the reality of living in a beach city.
Yeah, any touristy place.
Yeah,
any
exactly.
touristy place, because when people go to be tourists, they don't care. Like,
yeah, and also, like, what we always recommend, right, is that, like, because it's such a subjective thing as far as crime and safety.
Yeah.
Because, again, what you might think is safe or what I might think is safe, totally different things.
Yeah.
So we always recommend you going, like, okay, like, let's say you zeroed in on a neighborhood or a home specifically. What you do is we recommend you going out there at different times of the day and evening just to kind of go, okay, this is the vibe that I'm getting. Is this, because again, I can't tell you how you, like, if you're safe or not. I mean, my sister and I have different viewpoints on what that stuff is. So, and that's my sibling that I grew up with, let alone,
your
like.
sister has very stringent safety.
She does. So, like, you know, so, like, she's a little bit more, like, again, so we're all different, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is that if I can't even get, like, on the same page with her on certain things, how could I tell you, like, out there, like, this is safe or not? So that's where, again, this is the part where you really need to do your own legwork, like, for the most part, to really make sure it makes sense for you.
Yeah. Yeah, and honestly, if you've never been out to Huntington Beach, just come out here, like, check out the vibe. Like, that's one thing I really like about Huntington. We really like to hang out, like, in downtown Huntington Beach because it's just got a cool vibe. Like, it's fun, it's so pleasant, it's just really fun, and it's got a nice vibe. So another thing we like to talk about, obviously the elephant in the room when it comes to all of Orange County, and honestly, all of the nice places of California. And that
honestly, the nice places of the world.
Nice places of the world. Cost of
like,
living, yes. Cost of living, like, okay, so Huntington Beach is 180, and average is 100, and then, you know, if you've ever watched this channel before, we tend to do the same thing. We're like, oh, grocery, you know, it's pretty much the same as average. Health, less. And then let's skip over that. Utilities less. And I would not say it's because electricity...
Like the rates are lower.
Yeah,
they're not.
No, it's because when you're living in Huntington Beach, you're probably not even really using the air conditioning
it can depend on where you are. Like, if you're, like, if you're on the coast...
Yeah.
You're not really using it. But if you're like 6 miles inland,
yeah,
you're probably using it a bit. So it's just, but regardless, your energy usage is drastically lower because you have this thing called the Pacific Ocean that is keeping things pretty temperate.
Yeah, it's just the housing, obviously, that's where it all comes, right?
Yes.
Because the housing compared to the U.S. national average is very high.
3.5 times higher.
But if you've ever watched this channel, like, we've definitely had many videos where we've made the argument that when you are purchasing in a place like Huntington Beach, like, you're purchasing paradise, right? Like, it's a little bit of paradise. And any place that's paradise is going to be expensive. And we would argue, obviously we're biased, but we would argue that of all the places of paradise, Orange County is actually a good value. In my opinion, like, it's got good value. In other places, like for like properties, it would be more expensive.
Yeah, like we've compared, like, for instance, Newport Beach or Laguna Beach to like Nice or
in the
like
south of France,
or Monaco or
like
or
Paris
even some
or
of the,
London.
like
Some of the most
Tokyo.
famous cities of the world, or even like Northern California. Like, Southern California is cheaper than Northern California. And
honestly, like, if people go, oh, that's ridiculous to compare, you're like, actually look at what these areas have to offer. Orange County offers every bit as much, if not more than, like, honestly, all of these other huge metropolitan areas.
Except for, I'd say, the food.
we have great food is pretty good.
It's very good, but if you're talking about, like, because Sean and I are foodies, like, if you're talking about the premier food destinations, like, Orange County's not that.
Yeah, we don't have the Michelin, like, you know, we don't have the Michelin rep that.
Yes.
Like,
that even LA
that
has,
even LA
right?
has, yeah.
For
but
sure.
Again, when you're in Huntington Beach, that's a short drive.
That is true. But, I mean, Orange County has great food. Like, I actually think it's underrated, but, you know, I have a friend that's a food critic, and when I go to restaurants in Los Angeles with her that we don't have to pay for because it's for her job, those are way better. Let's be real.
True. So yeah, so cost of living for sure. Like, you know, Huntington Beach is higher, like, but you gotta pay to play.
Yeah, you do. So another thing that people always ask us about is schools. And Huntington Beach is kind of weird because it's a big city, so there's a lot of different school districts that serve Huntington Beach. But let's just talk about some of these school districts. So actually, the Huntington Beach Union High School District, it actually is, according to niche.com, the number 4 school district, not high school district, in Orange County. And then OC schools rank among the nation's best according to U.S. News and Report. So there was 2 that are in, the Huntington Beach district, and that was
Huntington Beach High School, I'm sure.
Yeah, Huntington Beach High
Edison,
School.
Probably?
No, and Fountain Valley, which is actually part of the Huntington Beach High School district. Where is that? Oh, so here's Fountain Valley, so it's Huntington Beach Union High School district. And then Huntington Beach High School, Huntington Beach Union High School District. And then there's a ton of school districts that serve Huntington Beach. So you can actually, one nice thing about niche.com is that you can just come and, look at, so the ones that Huntington Beach gets served by is Huntington Beach Union High School District, Huntington Beach City Elementary School District, and then Fountain Valley Elementary School District. So parts of Huntington Beach go into here, and then Westminster, and then also the Ocean View School District. So, one thing that's nice about it, so you can just scroll down, and they always provide a map of, what are the different schools and what are the rankings.
Yeah, and this is, again, actually, I remember when I was showing, this is years ago, when I was showing properties in Huntington Beach and to a client, and they were mentioning the schools, and I just had this an internal bias that beach city schools, beach schools are just not very good.
Well, you went to school in Newport Beach.
That's a good point. But I just had this internal bias, right? So I had that, but I don't know why I did. Yeah. But at the same time, all of a sudden you just kind of look at the different ratings. You're like, man, every school seemingly in Huntington was rated really highly. I mean, again, just another thing to add to the positives of Huntington Beach is the fact that in general, again, not every school. That's why I want to obviously look at what the specific home and neighborhood you're interested in, how that's served. But basically, the vast majority of the schools are very, very good into excellent territory.
Yeah, I would definitely say you have very good options. I remember when, the friend that I was talking about earlier, we both have daughters that are exactly the same age. And then, when our daughters were going into kindergarten, I was asking her, where are you going to put your daughter? And then she was like, well, we have 3 different options. And the good thing is that they're all good. So
that's always a good thing.
Yeah, so that's just an anecdotal story about that.
Again, because that's a big deal, right? That's if you're worried about the schools and then you're going, okay, do I have to go to private school and all that stuff? That's not an insignificant cost. So the fact that you're actually, again, in general, going to have a pretty positive experience, seemingly, that's always nice to have.
Yeah, and then, just even though we're talking about Huntington Beach, we just like to use this ranking to show you that, it's not just Irvine, right? That Irvine gets all the hype for the best schools, and, we're not saying that the Irvine Unified School District isn't a great school district.
Yeah, we're not saying it's overrated. It
definitely is.
Yeah, but it's not the only game in town.
Yeah, they got, Anaheim Union, Fullerton, Garden Grove, Tustin, Laguna Beach, Capistrano, which is South County, Newport Mesa. So, we just want to make that point that what's really nice about Orange County is that you have options.
Yeah, and also, we were actually talking about this the other day, is that even in the schools themselves, right, you also want to see, okay, well, sometimes a school will be rated 8 out of 10, but depending on what program you're having your kid, really focus on, that actually can change things where they're getting a 10 out of 10 experience or more of a 5 out of 10. So it's one of those things where, again, this is kind of where you dive into, specifically what you're trying to get out of the stuff.
Yeah.
And remember, we are licensed realtors here in the state of California. So as much as we love making these videos, what we love more is to help you with your real estate needs. So whether you're looking to buy or sell a home, what you want to do is you want to give us a call or shoot us a text.
Yes, that number is a cell phone, so you can call us or text us, or you can use WhatsApp if you're outside the country.